In this video, I'll be talking about the effects of alcohol on flow state, okay? This is a very unique topic, and I got asked the question in a comment the other day. And so I thought today I would break this down in a way that you can most easily understand this thing, right? Throw aside all the things that you've heard about alcohol. Alcohol, body eating spirit, okay? Bad thing is this good thing. Let's not speak in these binary terms in terms of alcohol. Let's start to understand that flow state is on a spectrum. It's not like you're in flow and you're out of flow. It doesn't work like that. There's a micro flow that slowly stacks into a macro flow. Okay, so it's like it goes from here all the way up and then sometimes down and then up again and then down again, right? And so it's all about optimization. First and foremost, okay? Is alcohol helping you optimize or maximize your performance or situation that you're in? It's also context dependent, right? So in one context, alcohol may help you, in another context, it might not. Also, another thing is everybody is affected differently by alcohol, right? Different body types, the amount they're consuming, their level of individual tolerance, and all of these things. Now, there's some science that shows like having a couple glasses of red wine or whatever is good for your cardiovascular system and, you know, keeps you healthy. However, drinks can also nullify your hard work, let's say after your workouts. Maybe crushing a bit of your mental fortitude. It might reduce your endurance level or your stamina. And that's really important, especially if you're an adventure sports athlete or if you're working with sports in some way. It might affect your performance negatively. That's why a lot of athletes are told not to drink. That's why monks are told not to drink. This is why you need discipline in order to stay away from this stuff, right? The bottom line is I would keep track of the number of drinks that you're drinking, how you feel during, how you feel the day before, how you feel the morning after. And just have a personal inventory, like a tracking system for yourself, where you understand what your tolerance level is, what your limit is. I'm not some kind of authority, right, that's going to ban alcohol for you, okay? I'm not here to tell you what to do or what not to do. I'm simply giving you my perspective, okay? So alcohol actually reduces the body's ability to convert food into energy. So one thing I'll tell you is to balance out your body with water, okay? Water is like the greatest brain fuel that we don't use. We don't stay hydrated while we're drinking because drinking alcohol dehydrates you, right? Which is less blood flow in the brain. So of course that's going to affect you in that way. There is a Swedish saying that says the alcohol strengthens the hand. I don't know the truth to this because it seems counterproductive, right? Even like surgeons drinking to stop the hand from shaking, or like shooters, you know, shooters who would like drink before they shoot for a target and they actually did better. I know there's this saying that is usually quoted to Hemingway, which is write drunk, edit sober, okay? Which can be true in the case of creativity because it is lowering your inhibitions and so forth. But yes, alcohol does depress you. It's a depressant, okay? Which means it's going to bring your energy down. When Csikszentmihalyi, the godfather of flow, was describing flow state, right, what did he call it? He said that every action, movement, and thought follows inevitably from the previous one. It's like jazz. And that's what he said when describing flow state. It's like everything seemingly just flows together, right? It allows us more space to work. However, there's also a lack of control. Now remember, a sense of control is also a flow state trigger. You gotta understand this, okay? Maybe drinking might actually amp up your sense of risk, which might amplify your flow state. So there's all of these different factors. So you can't say for sure whether alcohol is actually tapping you in or not, right? But one advice I would say is stop using it as a crutch or a way to, you know, be more confident or be more social, and actually practice being more social sober, right? In moments when you can, it's like you pass the level, right? Then you can try to amplify with different kinds of supplementation to try to help you or make that like a social lubricant, it's called, right? I definitely get you to write your ideas down, especially if you're buzzed. So alcohol inhibits the prefrontal cortex, which also shuts down during flow state. but it also affects the parts of the brain that are conducive to flow, such as the midbrain dopamine neurons and the adrenaline-producing cells in the hindbrain. Another effect is obviously reduced executive control, right? So you just kind of feel like you're numb, right? So it might help temporarily to shut down the mind chatter and make you feel more numb. However, it's not really going to help you to the greatest extent long-term flow state wise, right? You want to be conscious as you're doing whatever you're doing, right? Whether you're talking to people, socializing, whether you're, doing some kind of action, whatever it is, right? You want to make sure that your brain is clear, that you're sharp, right? So stick to 2 drinks a night, stick to 1 drink a night, stick to 3 drinks a night, but understand and know your limit, right? You don't want to get blackout drunk every night. That's not going to get you in the flow, right? That's actually going to diminish the effects of your flow state because you're killing your brain cells. If you're living like 99% of the planet, alcohol is legal, right? It's everywhere, easily available, right? You got to understand, like, what are the implications of that, right? Because there's certain cultural contexts too. Like, I know in Ireland, they drink quite a lot. It's a part of the culture, right? And so we can also make this understanding that where you're raised, like I know a lot of Europeans, they have a little glass of wine, right, as they're younger, and they're fine with that. Like, it's got to be done in moderation, right? You got to have some sense of self-control with this thing. And I think self-control is the greatest key to unlocking this thing, your question with alcohol, right? Because if you don't have the self-control, you're going to keep drinking and drinking and drinking, and you don't want to become an alcoholic, right? That's not inducive to flow state, whatever you say about that, right? It's like you're trying to hijack this state that can be produced naturally. You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, what gives you that feeling of that buzz, right? The alcohol buzz that's so nice and sweet. Like, you can also get that through other means, right? Exercise, you can get that through certain breath works. I mean, try this out as a placebo, right? Try non-alcoholic beer just as an experiment and see how your body reacts to it, okay? Now, some people might feel that that's even sketchier or whatever, non-alcoholic beer, what's the point anyway, right? But it would be really an interesting idea to try that out. Like, I'm just thinking about it now, but I think it's a very interesting idea. We're so used to the taste, right? We might as well feel that sense of something is happening, right? A placebo effect that might take place or whatever, right? Again, it's the same with stress, right? A little bit of stress, you can use it to study for your exam. A lot of stress before an exam and you're freaking out, right? You're like, oh my gosh, yeah. And it's actually fizzling out your brain, right? It's making you feel scattered rather than focused. And focus is what you need to be when you're in the zone, man. You get what I'm saying? So, you know how you'd say to a musician, you gotta play this by ear, right? You really gotta play this by ear. You gotta have that immediate feedback in the moment of what this alcohol is doing for you, right? And you said it yourself, like, I've noticed if I have a few drinks, that's okay, but after a while, right, there's a limit to it. Everybody has their personal limit. That's the thing. You got to discover what that is, and you can't go overboard, man, with this thing, because it's just bad for you in a sense, in your body, right? Of course, these things can also be just bad habits in general, or things that we pick up from peers or culture or whatever it is, right? In that sense, I would definitely ritualize it, like have a certain day when you're drinking, or like when I'm more so a social drinker, right? I don't drink every day, this is not my vibe. Like, maybe if I go out sometime, like, I'll have a few drinks, I don't know why, but I really like Mexican alcohols, like tequila or like Corona beer, like stuff like this, that lime taste, that sour taste. In any sense, guys, I hope this video helped you out today. I hope it gave you a new perspective. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any other questions for me, let me know. It's fun, man, teaching you guys. I see you guys as my students, man. I honestly feel that, because Flowzone Academy, it sounds like a school, right? And I feel like I'm like the top instructor. I'm the last flow bender, you know what I'm saying? Let's go. Upward Spiral Gang.